Well, Frost was sitting in for Kay Burley today, and in all honesty, I wish I'd do it more often, because his interview style is so much better. Now, if this was Burley, she would have allowed the Tory to run his mouth without any pushback. Current growth is at 0.0%, so flatlining. A perfect opportunity to score some easy political points, but in good journalistic fashion, although the Tories can claim that they were giving the incoming government the highest growth in the G7, not all of this flatline is due to Labour, and this was pointed out. Now, you also have to take in consideration that we were coming out of a recession, so the bounce back was going to be a lot higher. It was also noted in August that this trend wouldn't continue, and flatlining was expected. As Will points out, we should really be looking at this time next year, because that will be all Labour, and if it is still flatlining then serious questions need to be asked. But it didn't stop the Tory trying to claim that everything was great under the Tories, and the Labour have come in and broken everything with their budget. Ironically, he spends most of the interview trying to talk down the economy, and then claims that it's everybody else that's doing exactly the same. So, Kay Burley, if you are watching this, take some tips from Wolf.
What do you make of this latest data?
Well, I think it's really disappointing. And as Mel Strider said this morning, the government inherited the fastest growing economy in the G7. And now we're seeing these really worrying signs. The warning signs are on. They really need to think about the disastrous decisions they made in the budget.
Well, you say that, but the data we're talking about today is pre-budget. It's literally the first 3 months of the third quarter, the first month of which was for a few days at least, still under your government. I don't think the budget per se had anything to do, well, it certainly didn't have anything to do with this quarter. And we haven't also seen yet the positives that will come out of the budget, more spending, for example, and other measures. I guess the proof really will be this time next year as to what the budget does to the economy.
Well, the thing is they were talking down the economy before they even started on the budget. So it's no wonder that confidence is falling. And we've heard that from the likes of the CBI. But also, in my daily work, I work very closely with charities, for example. They are extremely concerned about the effect that the rises in national insurance are going to have on them.
Well, we'll see in the next year whether the extra spending that these taxes, this national insurance contribution, for example, will generate for the government will offset some of this and kick the economy into action next year. In terms of your views for next year, what's going to be the key defining feature in domestic politics that will decide whether it's a good year for your party or not?
Well, for me, first of all, is making sure that the economy is working. Look, if the economy doesn't work, if the economy isn't growing, then that puts an enormous strain on things like public services, how much money government has to spend on really vital services like that. And that puts enormous pressure on government to decide where they will be able to spend what money they have. And for us as a party, Kemi is quite rightly taking stock of the message we received at the election, having a think about how we reset the party, and then making careful decisions that don't make promises that we can't keep.
Does your leader, does Kemi Baden not need to find another gear or even another gear or two next year to start to grab more of the headlines and set the agenda in a way that, fair to say, probably has failed to done in the last couple of months since she took over? And Nigel Farage, Reform Party, for example, certainly punching well above their weight based on seat numbers.
Well, the reality is that Kemi's only been in a short time. She's already leading the charge on the farm tax, for example, on the national insurance contributions, on the winter fuel payments. So she's making great headway.
And you can see just how bad she is shilling for the Tories in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.